What's up, guys? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? It is Thursday afternoon here. Well, pretty much Thursday afternoon now. It's 12:27 in the afternoon here, Eastern Standard Time. And it's a god awful day. It's just raining. It's just horrible. It's depressing. Supposed to clear up later, but I'm not gonna wait for later. I had some stuff I had to do today, but you know what? It's raining. It sucks. So I've got some free time. So I figured I'd come in here and say hi and see what everyone's up to. And yeah, the rest is, well, you know how it is. But we've got some, I've scheduled some shows coming up. How's those snowy shores of Canada? Well, you know what? No snow, but they were saying that the temperature it's gotten cold. It has gotten cold, and you know what? They were saying basically the weather is quite like literally the coldest we've had this time of the year in 60 years. Oh my god. Panic now. Panic. It's is there an ice age? I mean the ice age on its way? London, Ontario is like London, England, only without the history. London, yeah, London, Ontario is definitely a unique little place. I've had my run-ins in London, Ontario. I remember there for an investigation of the Grand Theater in London, Ontario. And I remember leaving the theater after the investigation, and of course, all the hype around that place is the curse of Ambrose Small, as you've probably seen with our episode on Ambrose Small and how he disappeared mysteriously, and the curse. Hey, Bud Files, how are you? And hey Tom and Steve and Tim and Adam and whoever else is lurking. I'll open this up in a bit. Yeah, so were we stamped with the curse of Ambrose Small when we left? Because quite literally, within minutes after leaving the theater, we were in a car accident, and as I explained it in the show during the show, I was literally driving the limit. I was the limit was like 60 kilometers, and I was doing 60. I was coming up to a main intersection in downtown London, Ontario, and if I had have been going a little bit, hey Michael, how are you? If I had have been going a tad bit faster, just a tad, just a tad, I would have been T-boned by a cop, one of London's finest, who had ran a red light. No cherries on, nothing, just ran that red light and bang. Good thing I was going slower. I mean, a little bit, well, whatever. I ended up T-boning him on his passenger side and sending him into the corner and hitting the fucking traffic pole. And of course, the airbags deployed, the dust is everywhere. I thought the car was on fucking fire, smoking. And of course, my glasses had flown off. I can't see a fucking thing. But it's just it was interesting, like I said, how that worked out. And we're what was that? Was that just a coincidence, or was that the curse of Abro Small? Hey Terry, how are you? Speaking of London, some of London's finest. Welcome, Terry. Anyhow, it just it was definitely a unique situation, and of course, clearing that whole situation up was a fucking total shit show. Because they're always afraid that you're going to sue them, and I sat there and go, well, I'm gonna. That's a good possibility because they're not fucking releasing any statement on this, the incident, and and the adjudicators like, well, like it's like a justice, whatever, adjudicator, whatever. No, this was God, almost 10 years ago now. Actually, no, fuck, longer than 10 years ago. It's been 16, 16 years ago. Holy shit, time flies. But quite literally, they withheld any information, including their witnesses that they claimed that they had. I had a witness, thank God, an off duty ambulance paramedic was in the area who seen the whole thing and thankfully was in my corner and really just reiterated the fact that I was in the right. I was doing the limit and safely crossing through it into the intersection on a green light, and the cop had ran the red light with no cherries, no justification. No, no, absolutely no dash cams. So yeah, and quite possibly, if there was a dash cam in the cops, it might have been smashed because he went into the traffic pole. Hey, Dave, how are you? Good to see you. A long time no see. Hope you're well. But it just goes to show you. But I mean, they hit everything. Like everything was blacked out when the report came out. Finally, everything was blacked out, and they were pegging me to be, responsible for running a red light, and no, absolutely not. And thankfully, I had my witnesses that stated otherwise, backed up my story, but they were gonna charge me with running a red light, and they ended up not because they knew they didn't have enough, you know, evidence that I did because I didn't. They were hiding the cop because he was a newbie. Yes, one of their finest was a newbie, fucked up, ran a red light. No, they're not. But at the same time, no, I wasn't breathalyzed because there was no need for me to be breathalyzed. I wasn't drinking. I, you know, but no, I basically, but it was a long process, long drawn out process, and but my initial thinking is, look, if you're up against the cops, they're going to make your life a living hell. If you go after them, sue them, create chaos, damn well they're going to make your life a living hell. And I saw that with my brother-in-law when my brother-in-law uh, uh, was, you know, pulled over, if you will, by the cops in a different scenario. And they literally crucified his character, made him look like a total fucking bad guy. And of course, people who don't know him are obviously going to side with the cops because, well, hey, they're the cops, they're the authorities. Why would they fucking lie? What reason and what benefits them in lying other than they fucked up? They ended up breaking his fucking orbital bone. And he wasn't resisting. But they figured, well, we're a bunch of good old fucking boys. We're going to fucking create chaos because we can get away with it. And that's usually the way it is. And it's a shame. But they made his life a living hell afterwards. Like his character was tainted because of it. I mean, you can't even get pulled over. You get pulled over again, they're going to make your life a living hell. And they will. They'll pull you over for the stupidest shit. And that's when you resist or you create some sort of scene and make them look bad or go after them, sue them or whatever else. Like he literally fucking hired one of the best fucking defense lawyers in Ontario, in Canada, to help him fight the charges and restore his character and everything else. It took a lot of time, effort, resources, and everything else. But even they couldn't. Even this greatest defense lawyer could only minimize the impact. But anyways, we go from the curse of Ambrose Small to this. But anyways, but there you go in a nutshell. It just wasn't the curse. London, Ontario. Be careful when you travel through London, Ontario. I just remember having to get a flatbed tow truck to because I literally at the time lived about 2 hours away from London, and I had to get a flatbed to you know haul what was left of my car. My car was a write off. The whole front end was fucked. It was a write off, and so it was an extremely long drive home. Long, very long, so long, incredibly long. And certainly, I mean, because I had three people with me in the car. And one of them, upon impact, and we come to a stop. She was sitting in the back seat. She fucking flew out of the car. And it's like, where the fuck did she go? I'm like, holy shit, she fled. It's like, what is there something we don't know about you? You don't want the cops to know that you're in the car with us? I had to go to the washroom. Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm surprised you didn't piss her pants in the fucking accident in the car. I mean, that's fucking brutal. Holy shit. Where the hell is Frankie? He's right there. Can you not see him, Terry? Terry, Frankie. See him? Here, I'll get him. I'll get him. Just for you, Terry, I'll get him. There you go. Just for you, Terry. There's Frankie. Everybody, the show mascot. Thank you, Terry. But there you go, Frankie. He's always a part of the show. He's always there. Eldon House or the theater. It was the Grand Theater. It was the Grand Theater, Tom. Uh, he's not green enough. It's funny. It actually he has faded over the years, right? His color is faded, but this is the old. Hold on. Yeah, Imperial. This one is a reprint. This one is from 1986. But yeah, there you go. Yes, Terry, your life is complete now. Fun fact: did you know that someone actually tried the? Mm, I wouldn't doubt it, but I think I've heard some really whacked out shit about fucking reanimation. Yeah, yeah, frogs all the time. Actually, is that not something that you used to do in high school in science? I believe you tried doing that, reviving frogs. I don't know, making them into Frankenstein's, but reviving them. That's as old as you. Yeah, I got you. As old as you. But anyhow, we got some shows lined up in the next few weeks. Obviously, today, this Sunday we've got Jenny and Jamie of who are a couple Bigfoot researchers and use the SETI protocols. So I mean that's pretty interesting. How they've been on the show before. It's been a while. It's been 5-6 years. Anyways, they're back this Sunday, and next Sunday we have our good friend, the rock and roll ghost hunter himself, Keith H, who is a super super amazing dude. I met Keith. I've known Keith for a long time, but met Keith. God, finally in 2009, where him and I were both doing a paranormal conference together for the first time. So he'll be on the show to get us caught up with what's he's been up to. He's a busy boy. He's been busy. He's got his bourbon spirit production, putting out stuff, and yeah, we're gonna get caught up with him. And our not official, but I mean literally SETI, yeah, SETI. I don't know SETI protocols. What is it? CE 5 or what is SETI 5 or C5 or whatever? I don't know. Anyways, it's on in the descriptions on the show notes there. Um, the season finale, which is June 8th, tentatively, because we've got some interesting news, by the way. Um, yeah. So, anyways, as it stands right now, the season finale will be June 8th, and we will be doing Women in the Paranormal. Terry, thanks for the recommendation or suggestions. We are working on that, and so far we've got a couple of people who are coming on the show. A couple ladies who have been on the show before, and we really respect and look forward to having them on the show to talk about a roundtable about women in the paranormal. So we're gonna have a roundtable on that. But we just got some news, guys. We just got some news. I mean, we're gonna have a Hollywood presence on this show coming up soon. And I'm not going to give too much of it away, but oddly enough, someone I'm not going to put out there yet because I want to make sure we've got all our eggs in one basket and make sure it is completely set in stone. And I hints hint no, not Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. But I will say once things are set in stone, I will give you hints. Hints? Maybe hints? I don't know. Hints? Quite possibly. Who knows? Oh, okay, let's see. And sorry guys, sorry. But yeah. j- Actually, I was supposed to do a conference with Josh Gates um when he was doing what was the first show he was doing? Exped Expedition Unknown, something like that. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, I was supposed to do a a conference with Josh Gates, a speaking engagement with him. Uh, yeah, Expedition Unknown. I was going to do a special speaking engagement with him, and I was actually looking forward to it. Josh at the time was relatively known, but he wasn't like super known as he is now. People did know him, and I think he was just really climbing the ladder. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, it didn't happen because the engagement, something happened on his end. I believe Cigar Weaver, Cigar Weaver. I wish, right? Cigar Weaver. No, not Sigourney Weaver. John Carpenter. Oh, did I put Bruce? Hey Frank, how are you? Bruce Campbell would be awesome. You know, Speaking of Bruce Campbell, what I need to sit down and watch again. I absolutely fucking loved it. Was the Adventures of Briscoe County. I fucking love that show. And when I bring it up, people are like, I don't remember that show. What? It was such a classic show. You guys remember the Adventures of Briscoe County? Come on. I'll put this out there now. So, I mean, if anybody wants to come in, you're more than welcome. There you go. Little pinner. Yeah, I used to love that show, and well, I love Bruce Campbell. Great actor. Loved him. Obviously, Evil Dead and beyond. Everything he's done, pretty much, I've enjoyed. But no, guys, until things are edged in stone, I can't give it away. But there's going to be a little bit of a Hollywood presence on the show. I mean, we've had Hollywood presence on the show before. It's not the first time, but this is kind of different. I think kind of different, kind of different. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Groovy, groovy, baby, groovy. No, not that's something else. John Clude Van Damme. Yeah. Uh, Frank, you're getting ready for some weekend gigs. Awesome, dude. Well, the best of luck with those, bud. Uh, I'm just reading the chat here. Yeah, it's a bit of a different sort of take on the paranormal, if you will. I mean, there is the paranormal um, involved with this, and Hollywood, obviously. Um, yeah, literally somebody I don't think you guys would ever guess. I'll give you one guess though. It's a female. It's not a male. It's a female. I mean, I know that's a broad fucking guess, but to set you in the right kind of direction, it is a female. And you know what? You'll never guess who it is. You'll never guess who it is. You'll never guess. In fact, no, I'm not going to. I can't do that because this is a tough one. This is a real tough one. It really is. I mean, working on this, it just wow, I didn't see that one coming. I literally didn't see this one coming. But it's cool. The fact is, it is cool. It is cool. Oh, let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Steve, thanks. I really just looking at the newspaper clip in there, and thank you very much for the promo for the show. There, really appreciate it, bud. Thank you. Can I show this to the guys? Let me know if I can show this. I will not show it if I don't have consent from you, obviously, but I'd love to show the guys. I mean, Barbara Streisand, and I just want to throw out today, guys, help me and wish him my father a happy 80th birthday. Today he turns 80. He's 80 years old today. Fine age. He turns 80 today. He turned 80 today. So happy birthday to my father. And hold on, let's see. Uh, here we go. Let me just see here. Okay. I will here we go. Once again, thanks, Steve. Oh wait. Image file. Wow, that's cool. Here we go. There we go. Isn't that cool? That is awesome. Thanks again, Steve. Really appreciate this. As you can see there, he's hey Barry, how are you? Good to see you, bud. As you can see, he's donning the nocturnal frequency hoodie in his picture. Product placement. Perfect, Mr. Wills. Thank you. That is awesome. And yeah, that is so cool. That is so cool. Thanks again. And guys, click the link if you want to. You're more than welcome to come up. Like I said, we will be. I'm just talking about whatever. And Steve, even if you want to come up and talk about that conference that's being discussed in the newspaper article. Yeah, even that. I will go for a few hours anyways. But yeah, that interesting. And we still, hey Dave, how are you? We still have the same merch store, and we're going to change it. I mean, we keep saying that, but we're just looking for the better sort of avenue. Hey Adrian, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. We're kind of, you know, thinking about moving it to one of the better spots. And again, if you guys have any good suggestions on merch stores, we look for any recommendations or whatever else. Because I mean, the stuff isn't bad, but it's not top of the line, and it's we're looking for a place that I think would be a little bit more suitable for the show and the merch. Um, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Hold on. What's that there? Okay. But yeah, it's to those like such as Steve and that who've purchased anything from the merch store. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. Obviously, and again, all that goes it back into running um, this the show. With StreamYard and so on and so on. Um, I am going to pick up a trail cam, and I know this is a few people a while ago put in donated for a trail cam for DeForest Pioneer Cemetery. I am going to probably pick that up within the next few weeks, and I will be placing it in DeForest in a relatively good spot because I know a lot of people are very, very intrigued with what goes on up there. It's been a while actually since I've been up there, but what I noticed though, I mean, even though they literally, I hate saying the word renovated, but they restored about 90% of the cemetery. It was in total ruins for years. The stones were lying flat on the ground, weathered, and in fact, in spots, they were just not in the right spot. They were dragged to the side so they wouldn't trip anyone or whatever. and hiding in bushes. Like there was bushes and trees and everything else that were like overgrown to the point where there's a lot of the stones that weren't you didn't even know they were there, right? So, you know, they got that done. They did a wonderful job, and this was the Loyalist Society of Canada or Ontario, whatever, because that was a Loyalist family that started that cemetery back in the early 1800s. And of course, it grew and it became a community cemetery up until about the early 1900s, and then it was stopped being it wasn't in use anymore. People were being buried elsewhere. And then when that happened, obviously it just went to waste. It went to waste, total waste. And when we found it back in 2005, I think it was 2005. Yeah, 2005. It was it just totally devastated. And I mean we were doing cleanups there every year. We were cleaning up. We were repairing. Like I actually repaired a few of the stones in the cemetery that had fallen over, and I repaired them. But like I said, they did the full restoration. I think about close to 10 years ago. Is it 10 years ago? Yeah, probably around 10 years ago, give or take 10 years ago. And since that was done, they total like somebody's been in there and totally fucking ruined it again. Um, the family plot's been devastated. Oh yeah, is it are you able to monitor it from, or do you need to just go up there and just grab the SD card? How, like, does it have Bluetooth? Does it are you able to I don't care if it's top of the line. I'm not worried about that. Uh, oh, hey, cool, Barry. Yeah, what's going on with these black cats, eh? Like, there's been a shitload of them here as well in Southern Ontario. Several black cat sightings in Southern Ontario, which is weird. I mean, of course, it's not native here. I mean, not black cats. Uh, yeah, that's seems to be a rise in them in many parts. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, yeah. But I mean that would cost a mint to ship though, wouldn't it? Black cats heralding the interests of Antichrist. Yeah. Uh, Tim. Uh, and you think of people who are so frightened by the crossing of the old myth of and legend of crossing the path of a black cat crossing your path, and how it's bad luck. It's definitely bad luck if it's a huge black cat. Yeah, demon possessed cats. Demon possessed black cats. It sounds like a metal band. Demon possessed black cats. Where's Dr. Demon Cord? But yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. There's been a rash. There's been a rash of large black cat sightings. Some video, some video footage, and some picture footage that's come out from sightings. Nothing great. I mean, there are some okay video. Is bad luck. Yeah, exactly, Tom. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're a cop, right? Let me tell you, man. When the cop went into the traffic pole, it was right on the corner there. There's a McDonald's, and let me tell you, man, the people coming out of the McDonald's at the time of the car crashing into the pole, fuck, were they fucking? They were freaked out. I'll tell you, man, because it was close. Oh man, yeah, yeah. I remember talking to some of the people that were just coming out of the McDonald's at the time, and I thought it was a goner. The car was coming right at me, but thankfully the pole was there. So uh, the pole was there. The pole saved them, and it's a good thing my car didn't follow the cop car as it went into it. It just literally, yeah, it just literally stopped right in the middle of the intersection. Because yeah, coughed up a Big Mac, exactly. Literally, it just died right there when I hit the cop car. Because I mean, the whole front end was fucked. It was like smeared, gone. If I had, like I said, if I had to hit him at a faster pace, I would I would have been gone. But I would have been gone if I was going faster. Period. Then he would have T-boned me. If he had a T-boned me, then obviously I wouldn't be here today to talk about it. Right. Quite simply, that's just the way it is. It just, you know, the pools save a lot of people here in Europe. But yeah, it's just yeah, freak incident. Like you had an accident, never saw it, Steve. And an accident? No, unfortunately I didn't see it. But was it the curse? Like I said, was it the curse of Ambrose Small? The owner of the London Grand Theatre. Was it coincidence or was it part of the curse? Well, yeah, exactly, Tom. Yeah, it was pretty fucked up. Pretty weird. Hold on. Yeah, a lot of people have dash cams now. I mean, I've been meaning to grab one because you never know now. You never know. Uh, I mean, there's so many things going on. And it's not just while you're driving, it's like when your car's parked, people stealing your fucking car, people, cornholed. Yeah. It's fucked up, man. This world as Alex puts it, this world needs a fucking enema. They're dead cheap. I know, I saw that. It is, but you know what? It doesn't matter now, Frank. It's just fucking the insurance is just going it's skyrocketing now because of fucking car thefts. Here it's ridiculous. Car thefts, uh, although they have decreased finally, it was a free for all here. And that's, mainly in due part to all these fucking people that they've let into the country that have resorted to crimes, everything from, jewelry store heists to car theft rings. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. It's gotten so bad anywhere. I mean, you can literally go on any fucking social platform and see the amount of fucking jewelry store heists in these malls, especially malls here in Canada. And they're brazen. They don't give a shit. They fucking go in, they smash everything up, take everything and go. Because a lot of these security guards that they've hired, they don't want to fucking deal with it because they don't want to have to fucking, you know, get their hands dirty because they don't care. And I don't know why, Tom. Range Rovers are damn cheap. Sorry, I don't get it, but they're they're heavy fucking clunks of fucking metal. Overpriced. I mean, Tata owns them now, right? Them and Jag, and yeah, they redesign them. They're just fucking clunks, and their fucking repair rates are ridiculous. And I just don't understand. Like the Jag, well, the Jag's the Jag, but a Range Rover, I just don't see the luxury in it. Never have. You know, I don't consider it a luxury vehicle. It's a sport vehicle. But people thinking it's like anything in that sort of that line where people buy it. They don't buy it for the sport. They don't buy it for what it's made for. They fucking buy it for the look, right? And they don't give a shit if it breaks down after, a couple weeks into fucking owning it, right? Oh yeah, I know. The drivers of them do suck. Over here even. Same shit. But the Jags too. I mean, yeah. Hey B, how are you? Good to see you. Exactly. They buy it to to drop the kids off to school. And then that's it. It's like, look at what I'm driving. I'm dropping my kids off in luxury. Chelsea tractors. That's hilarious. Chelsea tractors. Yeah, I mean, I just I just don't understand. I mean, you want to pay that kind of money for that shit? Go ahead. That's your prerogative. And if you have the money to waste, go ahead. And that's the problem. People do have the money to waste. Um, I don't. Honestly, guys, what if you were to buy a British luxury car, what would you buy? What would you buy? British made luxury car, what would you buy? If you had the moolah, what would be the first British made luxury car you would buy? And I bet you it's not a Land Rover or a Jag, especially now. Especially now. Yeah, everybody fucking the Land Rover Defender. Yeah, it's a people mover. People mover. uh, but yeah, if you had the money, if you were to buy luxury, British made, what fucking vehicle would you buy? What would you buy? And it has to be British made. You would buy a Defender. You'd buy a Felino. uh, Audi. Yeah. Audi, that's British made? Really? RS6? I love Audi TTs, man. They're pretty cool. I've always had a soft spot. Rolls Royce. I know, but to me that just seems like an old man vehicle. Oh yeah, I like Aston Martins. But Rolls Royce, they've made some changes, I believe, have they not? MK1 Escort. TT is hairdresser's car. Well, Tim, sorry, buddy. I have no hair, so R8 is where it's at. I mean, it could be a classic car, it could be a new car, whatever. Classic car or new car, whatever. Hey guys, click the link. Come on. You don't hear me ranting and raving here from the Locked movie, Dulles. Yeah, yeah, I remember that movie. I mean, I remember that car. Uh, yeah, I would still buy. You know what, Frank? They're actually not American. They were built in Canada. The Challengers and Chargers were all built here in Canada up until just recently when they decided to electrify a lot of the lines, and now they're going back and making the combustions. But the Hellcats, the Demon, I'm sorry, I would have to go with a Dodge or a Dodge Demon. I fucking love it. My uncle still has a '68 Dodge Super B, and I'm telling you, or sorry, Super B, and I fucking that thing is amazing, man. All original, all original. Well, it's the same platform, but different engine. You would probably go with the Land Rover. I mean, a lot of people say the Defender. If they're gonna buy a Land Rover, they'd probably go after the Defender. That seems to be the go-to car with Land Rover. Well, no, they're not just all noise and smoke, especially the Trackhawk. Um, I'm sorry, man. For a Jeep, that thing fucking blows fucking windows. It's amazing. But hey, whatever. I mean, they've done it to themselves, quite literally because of I guess, what is it? Uh, the um, the attitude, I guess, if you will. Um, American muscle cars, um, and the attitude that comes with it. I get it. I still, I like the muscle cars. I'd rather have a muscle car, a classic muscle car, really, 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 because I fucking these rice burners. and quite literally sound like fucking lawnmowers on fucking steroids or crack. What's that? Track cock? Tom. A track cock, but close. Ooh. Yeah, that would be expensive. Best car owned. A Supra. Sorry, Tim. I gotta laugh. A Supra. You know who's making some really good cars, like dependable cars, and that's Subaru. I have to say they're making some pretty, and again, it depends on what you look for in a car, right? A dependable car, a dependable car. Exactly, Japan. Everlock. I've never been a big Japanese Cybertruck. Do you hear about the Cybertrucks? A lot of people trading them in and they're getting, I think they were saying they're getting like 65 cents on the dollar when trading them in. What's that? Fucking Lexus. God, Toyota. Sorry. Yeah, 65 cents on the dollar they're getting for the trade in for the Cybertrucks. The depreciation is just absolutely horrendous. But hey Safari, I'm good. How about you, Safari? I hope you're well. I like I said, I would take a classic 1968 Super B any day. I don't give a shit. Or like the Challenger of the good old day that Dirty Harry used to drive. And you're lucky, Steve, because they're fucking horrendous looking. They're fucking horrendous. It's not even a fucking truck. It's ridiculous looking. It's ridiculous. Well, rightfully so. I've never been a Tesla fan, and I'm still not a Tesla fan. Yeah, I mean, I'd fucking go after what is it, a Lucid before I'd go after a Tesla. Those some of those Lucid cars, holy shit, they're fast, motherfuckers. But I mean, again, when you look at speed, I mean, yeah, you can't utilize the speed without getting tickets. You know, again, if you're buying that fucking car for speed, you're never going to be able to utilize it to its full extent. But yeah, the quality, yeah, exactly, Frank. The quality's it's horrendous. I'm like I have currently have two Jeep Trailhawks, and I have not had any problems with them at all. Nothing. They've been dependable. They've been great. One's older than the other one, obviously, and I'm telling you, I was kind of pissed that they got stopped production on them. From what I understand, they're going to bring them back, but they won't be the same. They won't. Peugeot, fucking stupid Stellantis bullshit. What the stupidest fucking thing that ever happened. I love Trailhawks, man. I remember when we first bought the first Trailhawk, I took it fucking mudding. I took it mudding, man, in Vermont, the Green Mountain in Vermont. I love Cherokees. I think they're great. And I took it, like I said, I took it off-roading. I took my dad to Vermont and I said, you know what? We're gonna take this guy off-roading. It's trail ready, let's do it. And oh my God, it was great. It was great, man. It handled itself well. Great. I mean, yeah, it's not your Jeep Wrangler or your TJ or whatever else, Sahara, blah blah blah. But holy fuck, it was great. It did the job, and it excelled even more than I thought it would. And it's been a very dependable vehicle. It has. I mean, you don't buy them for fuel efficiency. I mean, even though it's a lot better than a regular Jeep, I think when we first bought the first Jeep, I think we are getting like close, and I'm not saying close to 600 kilometers per tank, close, and that's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad for the type of vehicle it is. You know? Yeah, I remember a buddy of mine had a Suzuki, and I remember we were on the fucking highway one time driving home, and the fucking the engine hood fucking flew over and started rolling behind us on the highway. We're like, holy fuck! Oh wow, man, that was crazy. That was just insane. Okay, I was just getting a refill. Guys, click the link. Somebody, come on. Uh, I'll be right back. I'll play this until I get back, guys. Tom liked it so much, so I'll play it again. All right, back. Come on. Somebody wants to click the link, don't they? I don't want to. Let's see. Just read that chat. Me. Yeah, it kind of gives you that nuclear fucking kind of whatever winter. Hello, sir. How are you?
Oops. So,
Uh oh. Did we lose Dave? I think we might have lost Dave. We've got double the guy. Hey, there he is. There he
hello.
is. How are you?
How are you doing? I just thought I don't really have a lot to say, so I just thought I'd pop on because I know you were looking for somebody to come on, and it's don't worry, I won't talk about myself, but I could just say I'm demon possessed. The black cat just lost its demon, and its demon just jumped into me. So I thought, oh, I am demon possessed by a black cat. Ow.
So you're doing better though, right, Dave?
I've just been diagnosed with osteoporosis,
Ouch.
which is a symptom or complication of the liver disorder I have. So they're putting me on special medication to reduce that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's caused by the liver disorder. If it is, it's just going to keep becoming a complication. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stave that off. I don't know. I'm all sore anyway. I had like yesterday was really sore. I couldn't move, but it's cause like during the night I couldn't. All my muscles and my bones were sore. I was
Yeah.
struggling to get to the toilet, and I managed to get to the toilet, and I went to the church group down the stairs for the warm welcome, and I was ill. But I came back up, took some painkillers, and fell asleep and had a good sleep, and I feel great, but I'm still all sore. So I don't know. I mean, they say that osteoporosis cannot be cured, but they can slow it down and stop it with treatment and lifestyle changes. But I don't know. I think I'm doomed.
Fight it,
Oh,
buddy. You don't ever say you're doomed. Come on. Don't say you're doomed, right? You never you never
who
you never
knows?
you never give up the battle. You battle on. You battle on.
Mm,
You never want to say you're doomed, right?
mm. Don't have a lot of power on it. See that though. Don't I can't remember. Give me a minute. I
What you
don't
don't
know.
what?
I don't. It doesn't tell you. I think I'm down to 3% or something. So I might need
What
to go and charge up. I don't know.
what your camera or your phone?
Yeah, on my phone, I don't have a lot of power left. Mm. Then again, I don't have a lot of power left anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, you were saying something about cars. Yeah, Aston Martins are nice cars. I quite like them.
Yeah, they are nice. I mean, I've always been a fan of the Austin Martins. They're relatively
You
nice.
feel like James Bond if you had them.
James Bond and what was it?
Yeah, you would feel like James.
What's his name? Wasn't Austin Powers? Didn't he drive one as well? Austin Powers.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah, I think no, he had the Beetle.
Oh yeah, that's
He
right.
had
He
the
had the Beetle. He had the Beetle.
Volkswagen
That's right.
Beetle. It's a bit of a kick in the balls for spy fans because, like, a German car, and the thing is, the Beetle was, the Volkswagen was like, the German guy's car,
Yeah,
the people's car, and it was kind of like promoted by that German guy.
yeah.
As we all know. I'm not saying his name because I don't want you to get demonetized. You have to skirt around certain words, you know.
Demonetize. I'm not being monetized. We're not monetizing yet. We'll probably
I get
start
that.
in the new
Well,
season.
Don't know, I've never been monetized. I
No.
don't really need to be monetized, but I don't know.
Did I
So,
have a good holiday? Yeah, I did, I guess. I mean, when I was in Vancouver Island, yeah, I absolutely loved it, P. It was amazing. I don't know. Do I hold on. Do I have footage?
mm.
Let me see, just to give you a
Did you not say you had a car crash with a police officer or something?
what's that?
What was the thing about the police officer that crashed into a pole? What was that? Was that, did you witness that, or was it something you seen on the internet?
No, that happened in 2009. It was 2009, 2010, something like that.
And was it their fault?
Oh yeah, he ran a red light. No cherries, no nothing. No cherries, no nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
But the cop had no insurance.
Nope, didn't have his sirens going or anything. Let's see, hold on.
I thought they all had to be insured.
Oh yeah, they're insured, but they're hiding him, right? Because he was a new guy. He was a newbie.
All right. Must have took me about what, 4 years to get a payout with them because cops take forever, don't they? Even if it is their fault, it takes them years for them to admit it. You need to
Oh
fight
yeah,
it.
absolutely ridiculous. I just trying to pull up. Hold on. Hold on. So here's this is hold on a sec here. Uh let me just okay, hold on. This is the beach in Tofino. Fucking beautiful. Hey Jared, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. Here's
So
yeah.
you were on holiday in British Columbia.
Sorry?
You were on holiday in British Columbia.
Yeah, British Columbia. This is Vancouver Island. And this is the
Did
Pacific
you see Big-
Coast. Sorry?
did you did you see Bigfoot?
Yeah, yeah. No, I wish. But yeah, this is
You could have found one.
it was absolutely fucking mountains everywhere. Absolutely stunning. It was beautiful. It was fucking and this is low tide, by the way. This is low tide. Let me just
That just looks like a big bone. That tree just looks like a big bone that came in. All
yeah.
right. So this is just the water going out. So you just is this live? You took this live and then you just did you do videos and stuff?
No, I didn't no, I just I shot this on the DJI 3, Pocket 3.
What is the best? I mean, I just use the DJI gimbal with my mobile phone, but what is the
Yeah.
best camera to use if you're going to? Is it so what? So you just use your phone with a gimbal?
I know. I use the actual DJI Pocket 3. It's an I
Well, have
absolutely
a look
love
for
it.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
to
trying to
me it's
find one.
I absolutely
I'm
love
trying
it.
to find one.
But yeah, this is just absolutely it's just
DJI Pocket 3 to look at one.
3.
Is that available in the UK?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are they expensive to buy though?
If you get a creator combo, I think it is roughly about I don't know pound wise, but it was about 1,000. I think it was about $1,000 Canadian, right?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's so worth
That's
it
a
though.
lot of money for a camera when you can just use your phone, really.
So worth it. I fucking absolutely love this thing, man. It's It's versatile. It is small, compact, and the 4K is just incredible. The HD
I don't
is
even know
good
what my
enough.
phone is. 4000, 4K, I don't know. I think my phone is megapixel. I don't know how
There
many
you go.
K it
Me.
is though. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I popped in there.
Your big face.
Yeah.
So did you go for a swim, Steve?
Oh, it's too cold. But this area here is one of the most notorious areas for surfers.
Yeah.
This is a
That-
huge surfing area.
Do the
Uh,
surfers get? Because you don't get at that longitude. I don't think you get sharks, do you?
no, no sharks up this way. No, no, not in the Pacific
Yeah, because they
Northwest.
need to be in hot water. Sharks are
Yeah,
always in hot water.
I mean, you might get the odd one. I mean, there have been odd sightings, but I mean, for the most part, you don't have to worry about sharks.
People forget as well. See, if you draw a line from New York directly across the ocean,
Yeah,
you're pretty much at northern Spain. You do get sharks in New York.
New York.
You know, there's a thing.
There has been the odd one that has managed to get its way into fresh water. Even though they can't really live in fish water, they are fresh water, but they do get into the Great Lakes every once in a while.
What I'm saying is they would probably die if they went in the Great Lakes because the Great Lakes are quite cold, are they not?
They yeah, but I mean they do warm up. But there you go.
As soon as they get to summer, they probably or winter, they probably die.
hold on. Let's see what else we have here. Oh man, there's some let's see here.
Have you ever been to Hawaii, Steve?
No, I've never been. I wanted to go to Tahiti actually, but that didn't work out too well. Hold on, let's see this.
Yeah, Tahiti's not Hawaii. People, it's French Polynesia, Tahiti.
Yeah. Uh, so this is hold on. Like literally when you're on the West Coast, you're literally pretty much still within the Canadian Rockies. And it's very, very hilly, very, very mountainous. And even the island, Vancouver Island, is full. It's like literally. I'll show you some footage of driving through, um, driving through up towards like just to give you an idea. Here, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Nothing but trees and let's see here, right, right. So as you can see, like you see the mountains in the background there, right? And that's literally the whole drive when you go north, because we were staying in Victoria, which is at the bottom of Vancouver Island, and it was literally a 4-hour drive from Victoria to Tofino where we went.
Mm.
And
So who
man,
did you go with? Your family and stuff?
yeah, family, right? And the next time I go there, we're going to go stay in the middle part of uh, of Vancouver Island, simply because that way we can explore. a lot more because there's so many trails, so many abandoned sites. Like guys, if you are a urban explorer, there is shitloads of stuff there on Vancouver Island. And
Mm.
I really would let's see. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Steve. Yeah, I mean, you get whales up there. Exactly, Tom. It's absolutely fucking beautiful. Tofino is really neat because it comes out from the coast, so it hangs out from the coast. What do we got there? It hangs out from the coast, and there's a harbor in the inner part of Tofino,
Mm.
and the harbor it kind of gives you that the east coast vibe a little bit, but there's mountains in the background, and then of course you just walk literally steps over and you're on the Pacific coast. Yeah, it feels like Hawaii. Exactly, it feels like Hawaii. Although I've never been there, but I mean, the Pacific coast sort of aspect of things, right? The Pacific Northwest. Well, let's see
Mm.
here.
How did you actually get to? How did you actually get to the place? But did you fly over?
Flu.
Yeah, you
Let me
just
see.
hired a car from there.
So,
Car hire for me.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Let me just. I'll show you. I didn't take any with my. I didn't take any footage, but here, here we are flying over the Canadian Rockies. Those are the Canadian Rockies, right? I didn't take
yeah,
any, but they're humongous, just massive,
yeah, yeah. The massive mountains,
right? And I don't
massive.
know. Let me see if I got some. I think I have some footage. I've got some footage of Washington State. Let's see here. Washington State. Let me just see. And you can see the mountains in the background. It's just actually really cool. No, that's the
You should
coming.
put that footage, Steve. You should put that footage on your internet, your laptop, and then you can put it up online because it won't be, you won't need to put
Well,
your
yeah,
phone up.
yeah. I will. I
Almost running out of power, Steve.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Need to charge up, but I'm going. Yeah,
Here we
it's
go.
amazing.
Isn't that cool? And this is a
It's
different.
beautiful though.
Yeah.
So
Here's
who
a
are the
different
people
beach.
there? Who are those, Steve? Who are those people there? Are they your friends?
No, those are just people on the beach.
Yeah, it looks beautiful though. The sunset's nice as well.
Oh, it's
You
amazing.
know,
It's just absolutely beautiful,
what
amazing.
what time of day was that? Was that at night or was that in the morning?
No, this is again. So the West Coast is 3 hours behind us here in the East Coast. So to put it in context, it was probably about three, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which would have been 10 p.m. your time. Yeah, roughly about
No,
10,
so
10 p.m. your time,
lo- lo- local time about 2 a.m., two
about
p.m. probably.
2 p.m., roughly 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon there. So I think it's about
Have you ever seen any bears in the wild?
I've seen bear before, yeah.
Have you ever? So you've driven down the road and just seen a bear?
Actually, I've been at a cabin where there's been a bear.
Is that not scary in case the thing gets hungry and fancies a munch?
You know what? Most of the time, you can scare off a bear, no problem. Because here where I'm in Ontario, they're only black bear, which can be brutal. I mean, when you get out to the west coast, there you're looking at grizzly. They're a little bit more aggressive, but here
Yeah.
it's black bear, and they can be brutal. They can be. I mean, you got to watch yourself still. But once again, this is low tide.
Somebody told me it's not just wow.
Isn't that amazing?
The tide can come in quite quick as well. You have to be
Oh,
very
it does.
careful of that
It
as
it
well.
does. It comes in very,
That's
very
beautiful.
quickly. Very quickly. It doesn't waste time. It was actually starting to come in as I was walking out with the camera. It was just really starting to come in a bit more. Crazy how it stays like that, eh? But yeah, there I am. I had to make my. I don't know what am I saying. Pacific Ocean, just outside of Tofino, British Columbia, Vancouver Island. Amazing, fucking God's country. But yeah, there you go. And let's see, hold on. I'll let it play more. But yeah, it was fucking amazing. And I have never ever really explored Canada. I've lived here all my life, but I've gone elsewhere. I've never actually traveled within Canada, you know, which is kind of weird. And then this year it's like, okay, gotta fucking start traveling within Canada. It's fucking a massive country. It's absolutely stunning, you know?
So is that the first time? Is that the first time you've been to British Columbia? Then is
First
that the
time
first time you've been to Vancouver?
first time I've been out west, period. Period.
Yeah, that's quite cool. I've never been to Canada.
You you'll have to pay a tariff a tariff to walk on the beach.
Oh,
Thankfully not us,
oh,
so. uh,
yeah, because that's right. I just forgot, Steve. You're going to be the 51st state of America. I forgot about
you,
that.
you gotta love it, eh? 51st state. God.
The guy's an absolute. He's just a weirdo. I mean, he really is. He's an absolute fucking weirdo. The guy. I just don't understand his
Well,
problem.
if you notice, he ambushed the South African or the African, whatever president, if you will, during his White House visit there. It's like, what the fuck, man? The guy never learns. But anyways, here we go.
He brought the African. He brought the African people over, and he was showing them videos of like. Did you see the recent one where he had the Africans in the White House in the South? And he's like showing them
Yeah,
videos of people being killed. Like, and he's like, "Where is this? Where's this actually happening?" And it's like, "Yeah, right, Donald, come on." I mean, there probably is a lot of stuff like that going on, but
yeah.
I suppose how do you feel? You're going to
Here's
sanction a whole country for?
sorry. Here's this is Stanley Park in Vancouver, right?
Somebody with a pink hat.
I mean, look at those mountains. That's North Vancouver right there.
There'll
And
be
look at
bears in there, Steve. There'll be bears up there, probably.
oh yeah. And there's just look at it. It's just fucking it's stunning. And that is literally what you see when you're in Vancouver. I mean, other than unfortunately the homeless and fentanyl problem in Vancouver, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about, yeah, let's legalize this and let's not arrest people and put in. It's like when that happened, it just it just went to shit. It's like, no, you
Yeah.
have to give people treatment, and whoever's selling it, you need to put them into jail. That's, I think, it didn't happen in parts of Canada where they didn't legalize it or didn't decriminalize it. In Montreal, Toronto, Winnipeg's, none of these cities have got this problem. It's just Vancouver, really.
Yeah. Hold on.
So if that's an example, then I would just close it down. You know,
there's so much rhetoric. It's incredible, and people just got to realize that that's what it is. It's just absolute rhetoric.
it's an experiment that just didn't work.
And this is again, this is on Stanley Island here. This is the totem poles, which is really neat. Let's see. Hold on. And this is and what's sad? Gastown is like, yeah, Amsterdam. Yeah. And the sad thing is, if you're not watching yourself in Gastown, you're gonna go into East Hastings, which is where all the homeless and fentanyl bullshit is. You're in a whole different ballgame. I guess I lost Dave, but you know, here are some native Aboriginal totem poles on display on in Stanley Park. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty neat. No, they're not packed with fentanyl. But totem poles are fucking fascinating. I mean, the meaning behind them. It's not just artwork. It's apps. There's stories that they tell about the mythological creatures and so on and so on. They're just absolutely amazing. Let's see. I don't on this stick. I don't have. Excuse me. I don't have. No, I've got most of it on my phone. Yeah, I don't have anything from. Yeah. But I mean, I have it on my phone, which I'm going to eventually edit. All right. This is there you go. As you can see in the background, those are the mountains in Washington State. This is at the bottom, very bottom of Vancouver Island in Victoria. Look at that. Literally piercing the clouds, dispersing. Just fucking amazing. You know, absolutely amazing. Let's see. Do I get more? Hey, again, the stairwell down to you know. But let's see. This gives you a better view. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? A Stanley Park. Hold on. And this is within Stanley Park. And that duck was actually following us as we walked along the trail. There's some really cool trails in there too. But let's see. Again, the mountains in the background. Isn't that incredible? Beacon Hill Park, which is at the bottom of Victoria, and that's Washington State. Mount Rainier is not too far. Mount St. Helens. I mean, if Mount St. Helens erupted, you'd see it. You would see it. It's just incredible. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful place to go. I will be heading out to the East Coast in a few weeks. In July, actually, I'm going out to the East Coast. We're going to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and there are two places I'm visiting. Two places I'm visiting. Right. Hey, welcome back, Dave. There's two places I'm visiting. I'm going out to. I'm definitely going to Oak Island, even though Oak Island is technically closed. You can't go on to the island itself anymore right now because so on and so on. But going out to Oak Island and then going to Shag Harbor. Shag Harbor, if anybody knows, and I know Steve Wills will know Shag Harbor. Shag Harbor is notoriously one of Canada's Area 51. So yeah, I will be visiting Shag Harbor as well. So hitting up a couple hot spots on the east coast of Nova Scotia. And again, Dave, I have not been to Nova Scotia. This will be my first time on the East Coast as well.
Eh, well, give it a minute. Get sorted. Turn this down. Eh, just turning the big TV down a bit, yeah. Well,
Sure.
Nova Scotia, it just means New Scotland.
More or less, yeah. More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will be able to get turnips, tea cakes, caramel logs, and you will be able to get good old Scottish porridge oats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a kilt on, Steve. Pretend to be Scottish.
Well, I do have some in on my one side. In fact I have people I have relatives in Dundee.
Dundee, yeah, I've been
Yeah.
to Dundee a few times, yeah.
Yeah, I have relatives in
There's a
Dundee.
comic strip that was made there, and it's a kind of comic cartoon character in a. It was a thing called, I think it was either the Dandy,
The
and
Dandy. Yeah, I remember the Dandy.
and there was a character called Desperate Dan. I think it was written by an English person, but
Desperate.
he lived in Dundee at the time, and he had a dog called Nasher, and he used to eat cow pie, and the pie had cow bill horns coming out of it, and He had a big pot belly, a big massive belly, and he used to eat cow pie.
Well, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Do you know
Hi
much
there.
about Do you know much about Desperate Dan?
Desperate Dan, the comic book
Yeah,
bloke.
the comic book.
Yeah.
And he had a dog called Nasher, and he had, I think it was a daughter or a sister called Minnie the Minx.
No, really.
And
The
she used
Desperate
to have
Dan
a
at the
fling.
big
She
cow
would
pies, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to eat cow pies. If you look that up, Steve, you can actually find a picture of Desperate Dan and his cow pie. And the cow pie, it was like a pie with horns coming out of it. You look that up. It's pretty funny. It's pretty comical if you can find it.
Desperate Dan. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, Steve. The Shag Harbor, man.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking. That is the highlight of my trip out there. I definitely I'm looking to get a hold of Don Ledger again.
Don Ledger. I think, yeah, what's the other guy? Is it Chris Styles or
Chris Styles is the other
That's it.
guy.
Yeah.
He's a little harder to get a hold of, but Don Ledger's easier to get. We had Don on the show years ago, and who many know have written about Shag Harbor many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that book somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fascinating story. I definitely look forward to getting out there and checking. Even though, obviously nothing's going to happen, but I mean, just to be there,
Yeah, it's good to do these sort of paranormal kind of pilgrimage, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, is there places over there that that you'd love to check out that you haven't checked out yet? That is sort of UFO sort of in nature.
I've done quite a lot of them. I mean, obviously there's obviously Rendlesham's the
Yeah.
big one, Rendlesham Forest. I've been there.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the forest in Livingston where the UFO incident occurred in the 70s. Is it Dirchmont Woods near Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Livingston is Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. You guys have so much stuff there. I mean, just historically speaking.
Yeah, we've got more ghosts. We've got more ghosts than people, Steve.
Well, yeah, go figure, right? Go figure over the years. But I mean, site wise, it just obviously you have the ones that are in the states that I've been to in the States, but they're not the same. They're just not the same. I think in the States are more, I don't know the proper terminology, like romanticized, if anything. Like, I mean, West Virginia and the Mothman sort of situation.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. I like to check
I
that out.
yeah, I would love to. I keep saying, September. I think this September I really want to do it, the Mothman Festival. I'd really love to do it this year, but who knows? We'll see what happens. I keep saying I want to do it, but it never happens. But that's one thing I'd love to do, the Mothman Festival.
Have you ever been to Britain, Steve?
No, I have to. I've been saying the last few years. Probably, I would say probably if it's going to happen, it'll probably happen next year, right? That we'll fly out there next year.
Meet the king.
Right. I would love to pop out there and there's a lot of places I'd love to
come and meet the king, King Charles. I was just thinking, Steve.
He's coming over here anyways. Was it next week? He's going to be.
I was going to say, Canadians pay enough money to the guy. They might as well go and see him anyway. Might as well go and see what your money pays for.
Yeah. No, I would love to fly out there and obviously hook up with a lot of folks. Steve, have a couple brews and sit down and talk about and so on and so on. But there's a lot of things I'd like to do. It would be at least a 2 hour, or sorry, a 2 week venture. You couldn't go for a week there. It's not enough time.
No, but the thing is, most of everything's really in London. I mean, you can go to different parts of England and there's lots of historical places, but as I say, you know, a lot of it's in London, you know.
Yeah,
The
I
tourist
mean,
stuff,
I've
you know.
I've never been one for the big, okay, well, look, France, Paris, blah blah blah, uh UK, London. Yeah, sure, I'd go there, but you know what? For the most part, I'd want to like branch out and go to other parts of the UK. Absolutely. Like I'd love to see Wales. I would love to. There's a lot of places I'd love to go check out. You know.
I've been to that. I would be too frightened to go to the Tower of London in case they kept me in.
I mean, apparently where Steve's at is actually really beautiful too.
Where are you anyway, Steve?
Wiltshire.
Wiltshire.
So I'm about 15 miles from Stonehenge.
Yeah, Stonehenge.
So you're like what, Salisbury, Bath area, kind of
That's it,
between
yeah.
Salisbury and
That's it, yeah.
area. I looked up some of the. I was going to go to see the Serna Baths, but I wanted to go and see. I'm trying to think of the name of that thing. What's it called? The Salisbury Hill. I'd like to go there.
We'll say that again. What was that?
Salisbury Hill. You know, there's a Peter Gabriel song called Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill, yeah, but that's not reference to Salisbury as in Salisbury, as in Wiltshire. It's a reference to a hill in Bath. Salisbury Hill.
So
It's
Salisbury
spelled
Hill isn't really in. So Salisbury Hill isn't really in Salisbury.
No, it's in Bath.
Yeah,
Salisbury. It's spelled different.
So somebody told me in Bath they still have the old Roman bath. That's why it's called Bath.
Yeah, they've got. Yeah,
they have the old Roman bath there.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Plus, obviously, the UFO sort of aspects of Wiltshire too, right? I'd love to see, because obviously, if anybody knows anything about it, Steve, Well,
it's obviously crop circle central Wiltshire, isn't it?
Yeah,
and well, parts of Hampshire as well, but mainly Wiltshire. In fact, there's one. We've just had one literally just about a mile away in a village just outside of the town here.
Mm-hmm. You had a UFO
just recently.
Yeah, last Friday.
Wow. So obviously people are still pretty active with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Matthew's put his stomping board away now. I don't think it's Matthew.
Can you imagine him going back out and stomping some of the grains?
Yeah. Well, I think he partly was, he was suffering from sort of hay fever as well. So it couldn't be much fun doing it with hay fever, could it?
No, I know he's got the he keeps.
I keep getting cut off. I keep scratching my hand, and I'm like, absolutely.
Is that what it is, Dave? You keep scratching your hand. Now you're on phone too.
Yeah,
but yeah, see, I would love if I was to go over there. Obviously, that would be my main focus: seeing places like Wiltshire, and going to places that I know that have a history of if it paranormal, UFO, whatever, crop circles, blah blah blah, and so on and so on. So I mean, I think that'd be awesome. And so this okay, so what I have to thank you again, Steve. Thanks for the product placement. that was actually really cool. So is that event coming up?
Yeah, so that's coming in August. The end of August, there's going to be a conference in the town because it's the 60th anniversary of the Warminster thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously we've been on the show talking about that in the past. So yeah, we got I think there's 6 speakers, myself, a number of other sort of Wiltshire based speakers. Yeah, so yeah, it'd be a good day. And that's on the 24th of August. So any UK people wishing to pop along, I think tickets are available on the website. Trying to think who else is. John Hanson's one of the speakers. So John's the guy who's got the biggest sort of UFO archive in the country. A guy, who else is speaking? Busty Taylor. Here we go. I've got a flyer. It's just remind me who's talking. Some bloke called Steve Wells.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah. Maria Wheatley. So Maria is someone who does like earth energies and sort of ancient sites and ley lines and this sort of thing.
Mhm.
Busty Taylor. Busty Taylor is a veteran crop circle researcher.
Mhm.
In fact, he was the kind of the first three, along with Colin Andrews and Pat Delgado, to get involved in it. Who else? Steve Ryder. Now, Steve Ryder's a guy who used to be in the Southampton UFO research group
Yeah.
many years ago. He now lives fairly local in Glastonbury.
Mhm.
He's doing a talk, and Stuart Dyke is the guy who's organising it. So, yeah,
Is it
there's the flyer. You see it?
is this a yearly thing that you guys have, or is this just
No,
a
no. We
special?
had one on the 50th anniversary, and this is the 60th one. So yeah, every 10 years by the looks of it.
But that's cool that you guys have that. I mean, that's really neat that because I mean, you certainly don't get that shit here. You don't.
Really?
Man. No. I mean, you might,
I
but
think they
it's
do something for Shag Harbour, don't they?
oh, they probably do, but you don't really like it. It's not out there. You know,
It's a very weird
when you got guys like Stanton Freeman, who's passed away now. I mean,
Yeah.
he was very vocal about shit like that because he
Well,
was
he
living
lived in Canada, didn't he?
he was living in I believe in Nova Scotia,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
right? But I mean, guys like that, him being American, but still, he was very very passionate about the local UFO stuff there, especially with Shag Harbor, right? You don't
Mhm.
get that much. You don't, and you don't. I mean, if it's mostly local. I mean, you're gonna get the local shit, but I mean, they don't really announce it out there. I think enough, and I think people, when it comes to places like this, need to know about it. I mean, need that info, and yeah, it's just. It doesn't get the kind of blasting out that some of these other high profile locations get.
Do you still must have like paranormal conferences and the like over there, don't you?
Yeah. Again, the paranormal conferences here aren't as, I guess, in depth as they are down in the States or over there. They're more locally based, and again, they don't really include reputable people, just locally based. I've been investigating the paranormal for 2 years,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be a guest speaker. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, over here we don't tend to have the big, the big MUFON type things. Although in more recent years they've started to roll about. There's been some bigger events, like these sort of, like you get at Comic Cons where you get
Yeah.
massive halls and different things going on. They've
Mhm.
started to getting a bit like that, but by and large, it's mostly like small halls and this
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad because I mean, there's some. I mean, again, over there and here, there's some really really interesting places that just I know here where I'm situated is quite the hot spot for UFO activity. Even witnessing it myself, but it just doesn't get the sort of coverage.
That was the
Again,
kind of orange amber lights you saw, wasn't it?
yeah,
That was,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, over the years, and I mean, there hasn't been that sort of that defining moment that a lot of these places have. There's always that defining moment. Like years ago, and I find that odd too because I mean, now you really don't have those defining moments anymore, like you did back in the '60s, '70s, and early '80s or whatever. I mean, they're just not there anymore.
Mm.
You know?
No, it's mostly, well, certainly with the UFO arena, it's more about, military testimony
Yeah.
from pilots. That kind of seems to grab all the headlines, don't it? Rather than, eyewitnesses, multi-witnesses accounts and that sort of thing. People seem more interested in military people seeing stuff these days, don't they?
Yeah. Oh well, there's somebody coming out that's military base that are going to spill the
Yeah,
beans.
whistleblower coming out.
Whistleblowers, yeah. That really don't share too much intriguing. Well, we already know about that stuff. Seriously, and it's really too bad. But I don't know. Is it the fact that we have, I guess, maybe a little bit more technology in terms of individuality and that as opposed to before where you know there wasn't that technology.
It's possible, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it's definitely possible, I guess. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it? Really, I mean, I think if you look at some of the sort of the technology these days, I mean, we could have stuff flying around. I'd say us, the military could have stuff, but they always say that the military are like a minimum 30 years in secret ahead of what's sort of out there in which the consumer sort of could buy. So you don't know, do you? You really don't know.
Exactly, and that's the thing. And I mean, even so, is it you have to sit there and say, well, is it legit in this day and age? That's the thing. I mean, diving down into saying, well, it's easy enough to AI that or
Well,
you
this is
know,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Hey, Dazzy, how are you? Yeah, it's really too bad. But I mean, there's some, like I said, what you talk about quite often. With what's happened in your neck of the woods. I mean, it's well known. And it's been talked about for a long time. But the thing is, I mean, do you find people like sort of drawing away from it now? Okay, this is old. This is tiresome. I've heard it all before. I mean, is there anything kind of like adding to it, or is it just it's there still?
Well, it's still there, I guess. For people who've witnessed it, it kind of tends to stay with them, doesn't it? And
Yeah,
that these people are happy to then recount it again and again. Um, But I mean, in terms of like the Warminster stuff, I mean, obviously it was a sort of major hotspot from the '60s through to the '70s, and then it kind of tabled off in the early '80s, and somewhere else then starts up, and obviously it went to Southwest Wales after Warminster, and then later on it went to um, like Bonnie Bridge area, Falkirk in Scotland, and that. So we do have these kind of hotspots which are active for I don't know for 10 years, and then it tends to move on somewhere else.
yeah. I mean, there's always something, something that comes out of the woodwork that wait, it diverts attention to something new. Yeah, obviously. But yeah. I mean, they're always classic though. I mean, people always fall back on it because I mean, I think people like yourself, Steve, and others who have kind of researched it and investigated it, sort of thing. I mean, it's solid. I mean, you are somebody who's serious about the actual facts and evidence and everything else that falls upon this. I mean, it's not like you're a fly by night kind of guy who's just sparsely looking at this and saying, "Oh yeah, something happened." But you actually devoted quite a lot of your time and years to really trying to understand what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a true truth seeker, then
Yeah,
that's the only way to go, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, and some people, again, I think a majority is just like, oh, like I was watching somebody had uploaded a thing on something different, like the Highgate Cemetery scenario,
Oh yeah.
and they brought in some facts about the Highgate vampire, or sorry, the Highgate Cemetery, but they literally fantasized it and propped it up and well, I didn't know about that. I didn't know. It's because it's not true, and that's a fact. A lot of the facts are muddled.
Do you still get hate mail from Sean Manchester?
I haven't heard from him in a while. I constantly say, "Hey, come on up," but from what I understand,
Steve,
he doesn't do any.
mm,
Sorry,
I'm
Dave.
going to
Go ahead.
go, Steve. So
All
enjoy the
right,
rest of you.
all right, Dave. Take care.
All the
Eh?
best,
Good
Be,
luck.
Dave.
Good
be
luck,
way,
Steve.
be
And
well, Dave.
Steve. Oh, it's the two Steves. I just realised that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Steve
thumbs up.
meets.
Good luck, and I hope you get to see the king.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Right, see you after, man.
Be well. Yeah, I mean, I it's a constant thing. Hey, Manchester, you're more than welcome to come on the show. I've had an open door policy with the guy, and he just hasn't taken me up on the offer. But from what I understand, he's stopped doing interviews. So I
Mm.
don't know. He hasn't been very active, as far as I know, in terms of a cyber stalking. He's been more of, I don't know, laid back doing his music thing or something last I saw, but that was a while ago. I don't know what's going on with him, to be honest, nowadays.
I think the actual feud between David Farron and him kind of bolstered the case.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
made it sort of more high profile, didn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many aspects, like the actual, the standoff that they were going to have.
The duel. They would have a duel,
The
wouldn't they?
duel. I was like, people, oh my God, I got to see that. It's like, wow. But it's intriguing because I remember when I first stumbled upon the whole Highgate vampire scenario and the cemetery itself. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know anything about it. And then the more I dove into it, I'm like, this is actually really fascinating, regardless of the the standoff between the two of them. But I actively first approached Shawn Manchester, and I said, hey, I'd love to have you on the show to talk about, your experiences in the Highgate Cemetery and the vampire and blah blah blah. Crickets. Okay, no problem. I tracked down David. I sent him a message. He initially thought I was one of Shawn Manchester's. So he was,
Stooges.
yeah. So he literally, he sat on the sidelines and then I said, look at, I have nothing to do with Shawn Manchester. I'm just generally, interested in you talking about your experiences at the cemetery and blah blah blah. And finally, he broke the silence and he says, yeah, okay, well, I guess I can come on the show and blah blah blah. And the rest is history. There, I mean, we became really good friends. I mean, and I think that's what really pissed off
Sean.
Manchester. He didn't like that because
No.
they had the duel, the ongoing duel that never seemed to end. And but if anybody knows anything about Sean Manchester, one thing he was really good at was cyber stalking. He was just, oh my God, this guy was relentless. Relentless.
Yeah.
You know, he would look at if he pinned you a part of what he called the evil cabal, he tried to make your life a living hell. He would gather whatever information he would be
And,
able to
and
online.
you and Alex were in the cabal, I guess. Yeah.
Gareth
Yeah.
was in there. Gareth
Yeah,
was in
Gareth.
there. And yeah, so
Was
many.
Alex and Alex went to London to the Highgate, didn't he?
He was in there. He took
Visited,
the,
yeah.
yeah, he took the tour of the cemetery, and in fact, he told the tour guide. He said, "Look, yeah, David Fraud's a good friend of mine. He's been on the show several times." And the guy was kind of like taken by that, saying, "Oh, that's really cool," and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's how you kind of perceive what really happened there. Was it real? Did it really happen? If so, was it a real vampire, or was it some sort of other sort of entity? I mean, if you thought it was a real vampire, then obviously you're in the Sean Manchester camp. Who thought it was a real live Hollywood sort of Hammer style vampire that was there creating havoc, or if you're with David's camp and him believing that it was like an energy sort of totally different being sort of thing. So I don't know. To each their own. I mean, they all have a different perception of how or what even did happen there. Who knows?
Yeah, because Gareth went over and interviewed him, and I think spoke at a conference, right?
He did. He did. He went over and interviewed David Front in his home, and he was a part of the Highgate Vampire Symposium, which was pretty neat.
Yes. Yeah, I seen David speak at a ASAP conference, a few years ago now. But
Yeah.
that must have been either just before or after that.
Yeah, both interesting characters. I mean, you have to be able to keep this going for as long as it's gone. I mean, obviously it's lost its momentum because you don't have that sort of duel anymore. One of them, David, since David passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally only Manchester's sort of view, but I mean, he's been pretty quiet. Like I said, a lot of people question the authenticity of him being an actual bishop. Is probably the only thing. We used to call him the bogus bishop, right? But whatever. I mean, it is what it is, and I mean, it's more lore than anything, I guess. But oh, we lost Steve. But anyways, I am going to we'll cut this. I just read chat there. Oh, there we go. Steve's back. There you go.
I don't know what happened there.
That's okay.
I love that. The message up and I cut you off, I think.
I love that NASA. But yeah, it's I don't know. Finding these people that that have spent their life worth of work in these cases, and it's funny because you kind of like they come out of the woodwork and you say, wow, I've never heard of this, and it's a thing. And then when you patch into the people who have spent their life working on this, and listening to him, I think that's probably the most fascinating aspect of this, finding those people who have spent their life researching or investigating these different scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Stan Friedman, the late
Yeah.
Stan Friedman. I mean, he was going at it for 50 years or more. You know?
Yeah. He brought so much to light, and of course, you believe him, or not, it didn't matter. It's just he brought the information out.
Yeah.
He broke Roswell, really.
Yeah, I think the story was he was on a radio station doing something, and then he heard about Max Brazel, the guy who the farmer, the debris came down
Yeah,
in Roswell, and
yeah,
obviously he then set up interviews, and that's how it got put out, because obviously the story had been out since 47, but hadn't really gained any traction.
yeah,
So it didn't really get going. The Roswell, although we sort of say it was a case that from 47, no one really knew about it till 1980.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, Frank. Roger Lear was another guy who brought a different aspect of things uh, out there into the consciousness. He was an interesting character too, Roger Lear.
Yeah, so he was doing the removals of said implants from individuals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and people would go, "Oh, is that a real thing?" Apparently so. Apparently,
Yeah. I mean, I've read some of the literature where I think I can't remember who it was, but one of the patients had some sort of implant which wouldn't allow him to remove it. It was moving up and down, in their arm or something. So the literature says, but
that is insane, eh? Just imagine that. Well, I have this thing that I don't know. It's weird, and you go to get it removed, and it just moves. I That's weird. That is just incredibly crazy. I mean, what are your thoughts on implants? I mean, the reality of them?
I mean, obviously, like spoke about John earlier, John Hanson. He investigated a case where a woman who was a alleged alien abductee
Yeah,
had something removed from her nose, and he had it in a little sort of vial. He used to go around showing it around conferences and that, but. Yeah, I mean, I don't, but people do say they haven't, don't they? So, it's part of the whole alien abduction kind of thing. One of
the
the byproducts is people say they have these implants.
lore, yeah, the lore
The
of
law,
implants,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I think obviously one of the biggest sort of pop sort of cultural things that really brought it to light was the X-Files.
The X-Files, although of course the Betty and Barney Hill case was,
Yeah,
predates that by a couple of decades,
yeah.
but you're right. In the 90s, there was a massive blow up through sightings, especially through alien abduction through the X-Files. Yeah, certainly, definitely.
Absolutely insane. I think I would love to do a show just on talking about the implant sort of aspect of things. And
I mean, if to be fair, if I had, I mean, the thing is with the alien abduction thing, I'm more interested in, because of the hypnosis side of it, and we know it's not wholly reliable.
yeah,
I'm more interested in, you know, what the individual's experiences in the waking moment, if you like, you know, as opposed to, I think, you know, if someone came to me who had that kind of experience, I'd probably put them on to someone I knew who was kind of more done that more in depth. They might even have had those kinds of experience themselves, because I think that's more important, and they'd probably get more out of it, the individual, because I mean, it's twofold really, because some of these people, if they've generally had that experience, they're looking for answers. But I don't think, as investigators, we can give them readily
No.
give them any answers, unfortunately.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's similar to when you investigate a paranormal sort of scenario. You go into say a private investigation, and you literally have to lay it on the line and say, look, I know you're wanting answers, but literally what I can do is I can give you answers on stuff that's explainable. And a lot of the stuff can be explainable. But the stuff that's not explainable, that's a whole entirely different ball game. Because if science can't explain it, how do you expect me to explain it?
No.
You
Yeah,
know?
I think. I mean, I think you know, when I kind of got into all the sort of you know, the paranormal and, you know, UFOs and everything, you know, it was always about the intrigue and the mystery and the enigma. I
Yeah.
think as soon as we start saying, well, we can explain that's alien abduction, that's, you know, a living cryptid, you know, I think we don't know the answers. And
No.
I'm always very suspicious of people who would tell you, oh, that's what it is. I know
Oh,
it to be this.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You get that, you know, so often. Obviously, you know, people. Well, I've got proof. I've got, you know, I've got inside information. I got this. I got that. Well, you know, okay. You definitely have to be highly skeptical of that stuff. But yeah, it just and that's par for the course when you're dealing with a subject that is like literally the Wild West. It's exploited beyond belief. Because there's no guidelines really. There's no restrictions, nothing, and anyone can say anything, and quite literally give you something what they can, you know, claim as evidence, and you can't really dispute it because you weren't there, and you know, so on and so on. I mean, you can dispute it. Obviously, you can dispute it and call that person out, but I mean, you know, I mean, that's like the evidence in itself. It's you're on the sidelines and saying, "Hey, well, look at I don't believe that's true because you can sort of recreate this, or I saw something similar that was explainable, and so on and so on." But I mean that's the beauty thing about this, man. The criticize the critiquing and the scrutiny, and I mean you have to have it with all this stuff. But um anyways, I'm gonna end this, but Steve, I would, you know, we've been saying this, but I'd love to have you on for a full show. We'll have to really talk about this in depth. You know, you're always welcome on the show, buddy.
Sure. Yeah. No, we'll set something up. We'll set
Yeah,
something up.
definitely.
I'll try and get John to come on, because he's someone you'd find interesting, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and that's the guy that has the library, the museum
Yeah,
sort of,
the
right? Yeah,
archive. Yeah,
the
yeah.
archives. Yeah, that would be cool, man. Yeah, you know, talk to him, and yeah, I'd love to have him on as
I'll
well.
set it up. I'll try and set it up.
Awesome, sounds good. Steve, take care, bud.
And you, mate, take care.
All right. Take care,
All the,
everyone.
all
Thanks
the
for
best.
popping in. All the best to you, man. Later, everyone.